Welcome into the Arrowhead Addict halftime show. My name is Bryce Carter. Thank you so much for joining us. The Tennessee Titans lead the Kansas City Chiefs 9-6 in a game and a half of football that, quite frankly, makes you want to question your existence, your sanity, the future, the past, the present. Um, Terrible, just terrible football all around. Uh, it's wonderfully horrific is all I could say, right? Like this is just exactly the disgustingness that you expected. Um, it's not failed us. So you get a safety, you get a touchdown drive there by the Titans, mainly on the back of Tajay Spears, a guy I liked coming out of Tulane. Had a hell of a bowl game against USC a couple years ago. But man, oh man, was that ugly. And you feel bad for Gardner Minshew, who leaves the game injured and, didn't seem like it was some small little injury with the shoulder. He's had some shoulder issues before. Unfortunate to see him go down, just for the player, right? And Chiefs offense gets a little bit of going there with Oladokin. Hey, this isn't terrible either. I mean, maybe Oladokin can be the backup. He runs around a little bit more. They get their 800-yard streak for Kelsey. I thought that was nice to see. But someone hits on it here in the comments. I mean, it's just really frustrating to see the teams continue to not play some of the young guys like Bassa, Royals. They're still not on the field. Someone in here said something about having Worthy on the field. Like Worthy will probably get off-season shoulder surgery. I'm okay with him playing. He's still a part of your future plans. It's okay for him to still grow and develop. But why Royals isn't playing over Juju Smith-Schuster or Hollywood Brown, that makes no sense to me. I someone in the chat says, "What are the chances that Sky Moore and McCole Hardman meet up in the Super Bowl?" Wow, really just not a place I thought would be here in 2025. But I hope it's great. Go for it, McCole Hardman. Also, the Bills are not fooling anybody with healthy scratch Keon Coleman for McCole Hardman, like just to make you wish you would have taken Xavier Worthy. Because that's really what it is, right? Yeah, I mean the coaching staff it's just frustrating that they're not playing young guys. There's still time left. There's still 3 games, but why is Jack Cochran on the field, right? Why are we feeding Isaiah Pacheco? Find out what you have in these guys. What else is this all for? What is the fake trophy here of winning a game that doesn't matter? What is the point of that? To say, like, well, we played hard down the stretch. Again, I highlighted in the pregame show. That doesn't matter here. How many guys that are on this roster right now aren't going to be here next year? A lot. Probably over 20 or more. There is no build momentum for next year. I think that's mostly a fake trophy anyways, but it's definitively fake with the amount of roster turnover that the Chiefs are set to have. Get the better draft pick, play the young guys. That's really it. And I said, like, I don't mind some guys playing like Christian Fulton. Find out if you want to extend him, or not extend him, but keep him on the roster rather than cut him. Yeah, I will real quick just kind of go over some stats here. Cam Ward refuses to acknowledge that Steve Spagnuolo is going to blitz him almost ever. He has just been getting destroyed against the blitz. He's got 106 passing yards, 9 for 13. Nice little shovel pass there to Chig Okonkwo, the tight end. Tony Pollard, 42 yards on 8 carries. Chig Okonkwo's got 3 receptions, a TD, 37 yards. Hollywood Brown, 2 for 24. First downs. The Titans got 9. The Chiefs have 6. Chiefs got 5. Oh, how funny was it that the freaking Titans tackle Nico Remigio with the crown of their helmet into his family jewels? And you're like, okay, here's a penalty. Like though it was late, he still clearly signaled for the fair catch. And then the refs come on and go, penalty Chiefs. It's like, okay, all right, for sure. But yep, the Chiefs are doing their part here. They do get the ball after half. The Titans do. Tank for Jeremiah Love. Tank for someone. Since we're literally not doing anything else here, here's my little spiel about, like, should the Chiefs consider taking Jeremiah Love? I finished my tape eval on Jeremiah Love. I'll have a scouting report up on him here pretty soon. Jeremiah Love is the best skill player in this draft. It's close between him and Carnell Tate, but Jeremiah Love in the right ecosystem, in the right environment, could be Jahmyr Gibbs. He could be a star. Track speed, St. Louis kid, former 100-meter state champion in high school. By the way, Jeremiah Love had the season that he had where he was invited to the Heisman ceremony when he was sharing the backfield with Jadarian Price. He has less than 500 career carries at Notre Dame. So this isn't some Ashton Jeanty who took 350 touches his final year at Boise State. Is the Chiefs the ecosystem for that player to thrive? We have seen first-round running backs do well in offenses. We've seen them not do well. Ashton Jeanty is a great example of a team that was not ready to take a high-pick running back. Bijan Robinson's kind of the middle. Jahmyr Gibbs is that upside where it's like, look at how they utilize him. Look at how key he is to the offense. But they had a great offensive line. They had a great scheme. Are the Chiefs going to draft Jeremiah Love and give him 12 touches a game and continue to run this bland run game? Or are they going to overhaul that stuff? I'm okay with taking Jeremiah Love as long as there's things that go along with it, because I do believe he's the best skill player in the draft. And I do believe that it is time to start making life easier on Patrick Mahomes, not harder. Look at what James Cook is literally doing in the game that he's playing in. And look what is asked of Josh Allen instead. There's a lot of running backs that are difference makers that are taken on day 2 and day 3 of the draft. There's not many edge rushers, defensive tackles, corners that are difference makers taken on day 2 and day 3 of the draft. So there's something to think about. I think high risk, high reward with Love. If this team, who is a major disappointment, takes a running back in the first round and he ends up being hurt or not the difference maker that most running backs end up being in the NFL because of first round picks, if he becomes Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the idiot test there is going to scream, you were a bad roster and you took a running back with the highest pick you're going to have in a long time. High risk. But also, what's the difference in doing that and taking Peter Woods or Keldrick Folk? I'm not sure. It's tough. These are the tough decisions that Brett Veach is going to have to answer. But yeah, so there's my little spiel on Jeremiah Love. I agree. I think Odokin right now is the better option. I mean, we don't know how quickly Minshew got hurt, but at least he can run around a little bit, you know. I think of Adrian Martinez, who was a quarterback for the Huskers and the Wildcats here locally. He has been a little bit of a runaround guy. He has played some decent backup quarterback, almost won a playoff game against the Bills a couple of years ago. I really think that that's really all you want to see from a backup, and he's doing that. Premium picks, right? Like I agree. Like Gary says here, you're only going to get a top edge rusher in the first round. It's a lot tougher, right? Like Nick Benito was a second round pick, but those are few and far in between. The Chiefs have been really weird with defensive line. They have not really had a lot of success drafting defensive line over the year. George Karlaftis is the biggest hit. You know, it's one of those things with the picks, with everything that they do. The important thing is to get a good football player, right? Free agent edge rusher, Boye Mafe. That's a name that the Chiefs were in talks with. I mean, I do think that there's a chance for them to look up in that area. I think that they're going to need to add to the defensive line in free agency, period. Whether that's defensive tackle, whether that's edge, whether it's in a trade. You know, I think that that's something that could come up as well, too, in the future is, you know, do they look at making a trade for a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau? It's a guy that, like, he's kind of in the exact same situation that Trent McDuffie is, where he's playing on the 5th-year option. Team could tag him. They've got a back like that. Honestly, like if you told me Chiefs trade Kayvon Thibodeau for Trent McDuffie and some picks going back and forth, that wouldn't shock me. The Giants are really bad at corner. They've got an excess of edge rushers. That's one that I've kind of hypothetically thought about. Thibodeau is a little bit more that FAU build, but he's not devoid of talent. He's a talented kid. It's just they've got a backload of the Brian Burns, Abdul Carter. They've got Dexter Lawrence. Got a lot of bodies on the defensive line. So be interesting. Ultimately, rest of this game, Chiefs just got to lose, man. Just got to lose. That's it, baby. Just lose. Go Titans. Titans up here. look, the only thing you could say is you would like to see some spirit from the Chiefs. You'd like to see them continue to play well and lose. That's really about it. We'll get back to the second half here. I do feel bad for Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, some of Kansas City's finest, having to call this game. Stinks that it's going to be this way. And let me tell you, it's not going to get any better on Christmas night. To be clear, people will try to fault Chiefs fans whenever Arrowhead is going to be like over halfway empty on Christmas night in the cold for Chris Oladokun starting. I won't fault Chiefs fans. They filled that stadium for year after year, game after game, decade after decade of losing football. It's Christmas night. Like I don't know what people expect when the season is over. So I don't listen to people about that stuff. That's stupid in my opinion. So that's gonna be it for me here. Come back for the post game, chat a little bit about what we saw, what we didn't see with Adam Best, Sterling Holmes, and Patrick Allen, and we'll be here. I'll be back on Monday. The Intangibles, all 22 review of the game. We're going to be doing a little sneak peek too of what does the dream offseason look like for the Chiefs within reality, right? Like we're not trading a 7th round pick for Justin Jefferson or anything, but what does the dream offseason look like for the Chiefs? So yes, bring your Clorox or your bourbon cocktails for Christmas Day, or bring them to the post game show, whichever you rather. But we'll be back here. Thank you guys for joining me, and as always, go Titans.